Revolution.
Bookmarklets on standby.
Log online, fan page loaded and ready.
Player stats, loaded. Health check, go.
Weapons check. Eyes check. Complete.
We have launched for the Informant podcast in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So welcome to the Informant podcast. I'm Pistol Pete from Stockholm. And this evening, I have the two ladies of the show, Jana, Make Death by Gucci, and Jennifer, the Mafia Wars Loot Lady. What's up?
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Yes. It's crazy in Vegas on Halloween.
Is it really?
You know,
Yeah.
just because everyone goes out and they all have to dress up. And
I love it. I love seeing everybody in costumes.
it's the same thing every year.
Oh, yeah. Unless they
I
don't
just
get
stay
new costumes.
home. Now, do kids still go trick-or-treating?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it dangerous in this day and age?
No.
Well, you know where you're going. You don't, go...
Yeah, you don't go to the crazy wacko's house on the
Yeah,
top of the
no.
hill.
You know which house to skip.
Well, I just turn my light off so they don't.
Yeah, and that's
Of
kind of
course you
that's
do.
kind of the sign.
I would expect nothing less than you.
I know,
shut
I
off
feel
the
bad.
We have a lot of children in our neighborhood, so there's lots of activity on Halloween night.
So are you going to take your boys, or do they?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we'll take
that'll
them
be fun.
around. Yeah, my wife usually hangs out on the edge of our cul-de-sac and with some of the other neighbor ladies, and they all kind of dish out candy from there instead of making all the kids come down the end of the cul-de-sac to get.
That's what we should do.
Yep.
That's
And they're usually out there drinking while they're doing it. So I mean, you
Awesome.
killed two birds with one stone, of course.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
You have fun, and the kids get to have fun.
Yeah, we have a neighbor around the corner that serves up hot dogs and beer and for the adults, which is
Oh,
kind of
really?
nice. Yeah, yeah.
Does anyone give apples with razor blades in them?
No,
Yeah.
no.
That's good to
Or
know.
at least we hope not.
But thanks for giving them the idea.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't made a loot item like that.
Yeah.
The razor blade apple.
It'll be out
I don't
tomorrow.
know. There's still time. Just
No,
in
I
time for
think they-
Halloween.
Got all their Halloween stuff out, and we won't hear from them.
They haven't
Yeah.
released a collector's edition item for Halloween yet.
They're
though.
not going to.
See, there they go.
They made a blog post saying that wasn't going to happen.
That's ridiculous.
I know, and I don't get it, because they're so, they can just pull all these loot items out of their butt in one day, and then for them to say, well, we're not going to have one.
Well, people are getting really worn out on the zombies. So
Yeah, I don't care for the zombie thing.
I think most people are just ignoring it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I got one of each, and actually I have 4 bikes. I don't even know how I got them. Well, one of them I bought the antidote for the blog post,
Yeah.
but the other 3 I have no clue. Maybe I think I was just running Assassinator and got
Yeah,
lucky.
you probably just earned them and don't realize it.
Yeah. And, I made a blog post about attacking your mini to get the 80 points. And maybe
Uh-oh.
that's crossing the line. And I only did it the one time to get the one bike for the picture.
Did you catch some love for that one?
Yeah. It pissed some people off. So I apologize.
Yeah.
I guess that's considered bad.
Yeah.
It's too much work for me. I did it to show how to do it, but to keep up with it.
Mhm.
Well, that's the
lot
thing about any of it. I think there's lots of different ways to approach the problem, but is it worth your time and energy to do it?
Not
It's
mine.
you hear about people that manage well, the guy that got busted for loot selling, 160,000 accounts. Now,
Oh,
granted,
yeah.
he wasn't doing it on his own, but it's just think about the thought of having to manage 160,000 accounts.
And he had a lot of
God.
employees too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He had a lot of help.
But still, even if each person were only managing 10, I mean, that's still a lot of work.
It's too much. I can't do it.
You
I
know.
do good to keep up with mine, and that's where I stop.
Remember all your logins and passwords.
I
Oh,
can't do
God.
that.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's not worth it.
Yeah. I mean, though, I really only use my other accounts to test things out.
Right.
But I never, if nothing's going on or I don't have a reason, I don't really ever log into them.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine having to do all this stuff every day.
It's a lot of work. There's a lot of people I know that do it.
Yeah. Well, in the past, it was beneficial because you could make the loot with your other account and then give it to yourself. But
Yeah.
when they stopped letting that happen with the best items, I think a lot of people just kind of gave up on their.
That's when they lost
Other
half their
accounts.
daily users.
Mhm.
Yep.
Probably so. Probably so.
So what's going on in Stockholm this week? Anything new?
No, it's been a bit slow. I guess the one thing that we've got for those that know how to get to our backup version of the Assassinator, I talked about last show that there's a zombie status feature that shows the points that you've accumulated so far, and then currently what the status is of whether or not it's low, critical, or high on zombie infestation. And we've also now added an option in the filtering configuration to be able to do an auto mode that if you are currently a human, it'll only attack zombies until it gets to the critical level, and then as Martin described it, then you'd eat about anything. And then
Do you have to set your account up to do that? Or
no,
does it automatically?
no. If
Okay.
yeah, well, it's in the filtering section of the Assassinator. So if you go
Okay.
in there, there's an option in there to check a checkbox that says basically auto handle your status. And then if you don't do that, then you can basically pick or choose yourself
Right.
from the filtering list like we have had before with based on the badges that you get of whether or not you're a human or a zombie. So that's kind of nice. So you don't have to really think about it if you want to play the game that they've got with the infestation. If you don't care, then basically just leave everything on ignore and then just fight whatever.
Carry on.
Yeah, fight whatever comes down your fight list, I guess. And then the other thing that's been added to that too is there's now options to initiate a power pack or a health pack right in the Assassinator. It's a manual decision, so I mean if you decide that you want to boost up, you can do that, but it can be done now within the Assassinator as well.
Well, that's useful.
Yep. So that's really about it. I mean, we've been doing a lot more back end stuff. You know, obviously, I keep talking about preparation for the Golden Toolbar. You know, which is
Does it exist?
it's not vaporware because there's been a few people that have tested it, but it's not. There's some things we want to make sure we get in place before we get it out there. And we talk, you know, while back about the idea of having the backupinator built into the Golden Toolbar, so sort of as a feature added for those people that use it. So all that takes time, and we do our best to try to squeeze that in amongst everything else going on in lives.
Lives?
Yeah,
People
lives.
have lives?
Yep. Yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else, big or small, that we've come out with recently that would be worth mentioning. Oh, I know what it was. Remember my tirade about the whole adding your skill points to your account and doing it when your energy was one level or another?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter now. It works the way that it should work.
They fixed it?
Yeah, apparently.
Oh,
Oh,
nice. I bet they heard it and fixed it.
Yeah, and so now when I apply the skill points, no matter what point I apply them, whether or not the level is below 100% or not, now it applies them to the usable side as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that was
Nice.
kind of neat.
You were the only one that understood it, and
Yeah.
the only one that probably realized it was a problem. But that's all you needed to do.
Well, it was never a problem on the stamina side. It was only on the energy. It was really weird, and I don't know. I did get a couple of people tell me that they thought that I was whacked. So I think maybe there were some accounts that didn't have the same experience that I did, but
Maybe.
it was definitely an issue. And when I noticed it, I was like, oh man, that's something worth talking about. And
I
then
Very
never
good.
noticed it. But I don't. I haven't added points to my energy in so long
right.
I
that
don't think I have either.
I've thought about it, but then I'm like, no, because I always waste a couple hundred energy before I level up.
Right.
At least for my playing style, like when I'm not constantly on there. I'll like pick 3 or 4 times during the day to do everything.
Yeah.
Right.
So if I'm gonna level and I have energy or stamina to waste, then I know I need to step back and put my points in attack and defense.
Yep.
Right.
So that's it for me though.
Awesome. What's going on with you, Jen?
Oh, so much stuff. And I briefly mentioned on the last show, right as we were recording, they put out districts 4 through 6 in Chicago.
Hey, I have a tip. After last time, I was attempting to give a tip, but I've got a tip for
That's
the new Chicago.
what?
When you're doing the first round of any of your districts that you have to have those consumables, like you have to have the beer keg and you have to have some of the other stuff,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and you have to have lots of them in order to do the job.
Right.
Just run that job over and over again at the lowest possible energy
Yep.
level, so you can get a whole bunch of them stockpiled, so that when you get into your higher energy per cost jobs, you'll still have enough to do it. You won't have to be going backwards.
Well, that's
Right.
like we've always said to do that.
Damn, I tried
And
again.
don't waste
No,
your
no,
boost on
but
it either.
It's more important this time around because the difference in energies with District 4 through 6 are huge.
Right,
Yeah,
that's true.
exactly.
So
That's what she said.
it's better, like we need to re-emphasize that because I was guilty of saying screw it, I'm just gonna blow through it.
I used to always do as I needed it. And
Yeah,
then
same here.
as I was going through it, I was finding
It's ridiculous now.
finding
Yeah.
that it was just not. I mean,
Well, too, and I think it's good not to waste your boost on that job and use it on a job that doesn't need the consumable, or
Right.
that doesn't get the consumable. Because
It's
you're going to have to
best-
repeatedly
yeah.
do it anyway.
Like people need to never activate your strategist and your lockpick bonus at the same time. What you need to do is activate the one that gives you double loot and do your consumable, the job that drops the consumables.
Mm-hmm.
Then when that runs out, activate the strategist, which gives double mastery, and then go do the jobs that require consumables.
exactly.
And
Right.
cut your cost in half.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I have charts that tell you how many consumables there's 3 new ones, and it tells you how many of each you need, and that's assuming that you don't use your bonuses. Like that's the most you would need.
Right.
So if you know you're savvy and you know you consistently do that, then you wouldn't need to collect as many. And once a day you can ask your Mafia to help you on a job, and it will be the equivalent of doing 5 jobs. So you want to make sure you ask on those consumable jobs to cut the cost down even more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
And I need, or somebody in Team Spotcom, while we're talking about that, needs to add those 3 consumables to the inventory group.
Oh.
So people can readily check and see how many they have.
okay.
Because sometimes when I do that, I'll like make way more than I need.
Yeah, I think I ended up doing that as well.
Yeah.
Or you're just not sure.
But I was just like,
going.
you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna keep. There's a
It's
full
hard.
energy pack. Let me go do that all over again.
I do the same thing. I'm going to go make more mediators. And then a lot of people are confused because I don't know why, but you would think that when the job tells you you need a consumable, they would tell you how many you need.
Yes.
And it's not listed. The only way to find out how many you really need is to deplete your resources and get them to 0, and then click on the button and it'll say. Now, for the first consumable, the confidential records, you only need 1 per click. The beer barrels, which are in the 5th district, you need 3 per click.
Yeah, that
And
threw
people
me
aren't
off too.
realizing that. Yeah, and they're like, I know I just did the job to get one. I have it, but you need 3 per job. And then the last one, the mediator, you're going to need 2 of those for every click.
See, and I think, is this the
Oh,
first
goodness.
time that they've ever done that where you had to have more than 1?
I
No.
think so. No?
No, they did that in Las Vegas and Italy too.
Really? I just
I
guess
don't
I never
remember.
noticed it back
But
then.
it told you. It said you need 2.
Oh, all right.
you know, this doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
And same thing in the earlier 1 through 3. I think one of the jobs you needed 2.
See, I never paid enough attention. I always thought it was 1, and then I did it, and then I was like, wait a minute, I need another one? What's this all about? And that's what gave me the idea. I said, I need to go ahead and start collecting a whole
attention.
bunch of them at once.
So
And
then
I
you
need
don't
to-
have to worry about
Yeah,
it.
and then I need to get them when they're only 140 energy per collection point.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
And the nice thing is it's easy to keep track of is in the Chicago districts, the mastery remains the same on bronze as it does on ruby. So each job, regardless of the level, will be a certain % of mastery. So it's really easy to figure out how many consumables you need.
Right.
Good.
And then just times it by 4. And then that's what you know to go for.
Yep.
But yeah, the people that blow through it because they want to be a rock star and post their I finished, they're going to be like, when they get to the Ruby district and they don't have any consumables, they're going to be like, oh shit.
Amen.
I shouldn't listen to those people.
I'm just taking my time.
Well, and I've always said that, like with Brazil and Italy and even Las Vegas. But did I do that before? No, I wanted to blow through it. And then I remember.
Because you want to get your
'Cause
post
she wanted
up
to be
say,
the rock
"Ha, ha,
star."
ha." Exactly.
Well, I do my
rock star.
posts from an energy account, so I'm not really.
Yeah.
But like on my own account, it takes me longer. They gave us another round of fight loot, which was really surprising because it had only been 10 days since we got the fight loot before that. I think everyone was so disappointed with that fight loot and couldn't believe there weren't any henchmen. And I think maybe that's why they added another round so quickly. But this one is great because it has two henchmen